welcome to Game Pass News. My name is Nick. I'm with my co-host Sean. We're talking Xbox. We're talking Game Pass news. Well, no, we're not talking. We're talking news about Game Pass, and we're talking Elden Ring. That gal darn die-a-lot Elden Ring. We're gonna have some good conversations. Can't wait to get into all of those. But first, Mr. Abbott, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm sick to absolute death of getting my ass handed to me in Elden Ring. So I
I
kind of like a lot of people kind of said in their streams, "Oh yeah, this game's like really hard," blah blah blah. And I've kind of been, "Oh, you kind of just maybe bigging it up to get people to play the game." Yeah, it's freaking really hard.
Yes, it
really,
is.
really
It
hard.
is really hard, and it's kind of grindy. Hard. I was prepared for. I wasn't prepared for grindy. That's the other thing. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't feels a little grindy. Oh, Sean's doing a check. Like I might be in trouble.
No, no, we're good. It's
Oh, okay.
currently says unstable, but for its bit rate, you know.
Oh, that's strange. Okay. Well, who knows? Let me know if I'm unstable because other people have already told me that. So, we'll just keep going until we get verification.
We're
Um.
back at excellent. That's good. That's
Oh, hey, we like excellent. Yeah, the grindy part got me, but we'll get to all that. Anything else going on in life I need to know about?
good. No, it's busy week last week. Not really done all right like this week, apart from went and bought Elden Ring. So
That's right.
then that's kind of sucked up a lot of my time. So
That was a roller coaster of emotions too. You were like, "No, yes, I'm gonna get it. I'm not gonna get it. Okay, I got it." That was pretty much how our Discord
yeah,
went between each other.
yeah. It was that, and then it was like, I'm gonna get it. I'm not gonna get it. I'm gonna get it later on today, and then stopped up for 30 hours because I went and bought it, and then played a little bit of it, and
And God bless you for that. 30 hours. I don't know. I can't do that, man. I cannot. Like, I mean, 24 hours for Extra Life's about all I got. But I mean, I know that's kind of your gig. It's what you do for your job. But
yeah.
oh man, that is tough. So,
How's things
um,
for you? How's the weather going? Because like I think last time you were like saying it was going to snow and then be
uh huh,
sunny and
that happened. So did the other thing. Yep. It was sunny and 70 on Saturday, and it was like 25 and flurries on Monday. So, and now we're back up, and it's like almost 40ish degrees, and there's a guy in my tree trying to cut down the rest of the tree in the backyard. So if you hear a thud or whatever, that means a large stump landed.
mail has fallen out of the tree.
Hopefully on the ground and not on my roof because he literally is like right over the roof. So I'm gonna hope that's how that goes. But beyond that, Sean, let me tell you, God bless our country of America. Do you? So your McDonald's, you got when you have a drive-through, do you have like 2-lane drive-throughs?
Um, we have it has two, so you can talk to the person in via the intercom, and then it goes down to the one lane.
Yes. Okay. So you're right on. You have segued me without knowing it right into the story, Sean. This is fantastic. So I pull into one now. Etiquette. One lane goes, the next lane goes when you're merging back into that one. Right. I mean that's just kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
how it goes. Okay.
I mean, I
So
don't know. I don't know how you get what you guys have in America, but we have some. We have the highway code in
yeah.
UK, and it actually states in the highway code that for merging vehicles, you should let one go, then take your turn, and that's how it should keep continuous flow.
That's how I
It
do it in
basically says
these.
it in the rules.
That's how I do it in these McDonald's lines. And so one guy went and I went. And so like when I went, the line was kind of backed up at that point. So his front end was right looking at like my driver's side door, okay? And he's like, "Bah!" Gives me this like hands up in the air, a couple of like flyy birds, some mouthy noises. Like he's like, and I'm just kind of like, just give him a shrug, like I don't. What do you want? It was my turn. I pulled out. When I pull through, then you can pull behind me. We're all good here, man. Like I didn't cut in front of him at all. Like so I had no idea what he was confused about or what he was so upset about. And so I didn't flip him off. I didn't like him. I just kind of shrugged and was like, I don't know what's going on. So, and then I kind of looked at my phone to give me something to do, so I didn't have to just continually stare at him while he like did his finger hellos and all that kind of stuff. And so we start moving forward. He leaves me alone. He did. I was worried he was gonna like come out of the car and tell me his issues, but luckily he didn't. Now, Sean, I should have let it go from there and just done and just let it go, okay? But instead, as we pulled up to the pay place, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see how much it would cost to pay for this guy's meal. And so I'm like, hey, the guy behind me, how much, And she's like, oh yeah. And I was like, well, I'll pay it forward. I'll pay for him too. And so, I paid for him too. It's like it wasn't like super expensive. It was just kind of like sounded like it was just kind of like a meal. So he was like, sure. I was like, sure, let's do it. Let's just pay it forward. And so I get up to get my meal. I get my meal. And as like he's now to the point to where he's now learning that like I have paid for his meal, right? And he's like, and so like I start to go because I've now got my meal. I start to go. He pulls his car enough to where he can like diagonal out of the line so that he can open his driver's side door. And he's like, he gets out as I'm pulling away. He gets out of his vehicle and he's like going to his back pocket and he's like, oh no. And you can hear him be like, I don't need your money. I don't need your money. And I'm like, oh my God, are you serious? What is going on? What is going on here? And he's like waving money in the air. And so in our McDonald's, like when you pull out, there is a stoplight. And at this point, the only thing I'm thinking is, please God, let it be a green light when I get there. Otherwise, I have no idea what's gonna happen. So, and he's like walking away from his vehicle, which he has pulled out now in the drive-through to do whatever, right? So, and he just keeps walking to me, and I'm like, So luckily, when I get to the light, it is green. I am supposed to go left at this point. To get where I need to go. But I'm like, hell no. I'm not going to go left because I'm going to have to stop and wait for oncoming traffic, and I'm not going to do that. So I just make it right and get the hell out of there while he just continually tries to walk towards my van waving money at me. It was the funniest freaking thing. Oh my gosh.
I don't understand why people be like that. I don't know. My biggest gripe in the UK is the give way, like priority over oncoming traffic signs, because I have to go through one every day to leave my house and get into the rest of the town. I have to go through one every day, and if there's a steady stream of cars coming, I will sit. I'll wait my turn. As soon as that stream of cars is gone, I start to set off, and the people coming the other way, because they think they have priority over the oncoming traffic, just carry on, and it's like I have numerous times parked the car in the middle of the road, like, where do you want me to go? I've already committed. I'm halfway through this junction. I'm not reversing. I'm halfway through. It's you have priority, but if there is a car already there, you still have to stop and give way. And I've had people come out of the car and like banging on mine and like shouting through the window, and I'm like,
it's the best. Road rage is I do not understand it, man.
The funniest one I ever had is I'm a pretty tall guy. I'm 6'1", and at the time I had this car, I was 6'1", and I must have been about 18 stone. I was like, I was very big. It was a tiny little guy, a little Peugeot 106. It's tiny, and I pulled up outside. I think it was Blockbuster at the time, so this is going back some. And this guy just reversed his cab, boom, straight into the front of mine. I was like, thanks very much. And he got out of the car, marched up to my car as if I'd driven into the back of it, and swearing and shouting at me through the window. And I opened the door and stepped out of the car, and my car was only a tiny little bit rocked. And I kind of sort of towered over this guy, and he was like, oh, yeah, I'm really sorry. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. What did you reverse into me for? And he kind of like just crawled back into his car and drove off. But no, I can't. But that's. I mean,
I literally killed this man with
as an apology. Yeah, no, you could have took it as an apology that, oh yeah, I'm sorry I cut you up, so I paid for your, well, bygones be bygones, but no, he had to be an ass about it.
I know it was, yeah. I really didn't expect that to happen. I just thought, oh, he'll be, but yeah. anyways,
So
that's
what
my
did he
Nintendo.
order? What did he order?
I don't even know. I didn't even ask. It was like $7, so it had to just be like a single meal. Like it wasn't. It's not like I paid like some $40 or something for a bunch of food. I mean, it was like $7. So yeah, so I didn't ask what he ordered. I just was like, how much was it? And the lady was like seven something or other, and I'm like, I'll pay for him too. Uh, yeah. So I don't know if he has Tim. Okay, so Tim, sorry for those in chat. Tim has asked, has Johnny been on every show except for Nintendo Dads? I don't know if he has, but let me tell you, he should be on the Nintendo Dads. That guy, yeah, that I mean, I have no right to really invite him on anywhere. But hey, if you can make it happen, Tim, I say I would love to hear Hambone Johnny on the Nintendo Dads as a Patreon of Nintendo Dads. Let me talk in that form, not in the form
Yeah.
of like on a family show. So as a Patreon of Nintendo Dads, I would love to hear him on that podcast. So there you go. Yeah. So, anyways, that's my story. Moving on. Just a big thanks, hello to Tim and Hambone Johnny and the Duke, for joining us in chat tonight. Really appreciate it. Yeah, that would be really appreciate that. Sorry, I'm reading chat and I shouldn't be doing that. Top
Yeah. He's just got
stories.
a
Yeah,
full on invite to Nintendo Dad Show.
nice. I love it. Top stories. This one really sucks, man. I mean, we could have everybody knows I'm a little salty about the fact of how Halo rolled out in a long form. Halo Season 2 launches. It was supposed to launch with co-op, I believe. It wasn't supposed to launch with the
Yeah.
Forge. I think it was supposed to have co-op, if I remember correctly. That was supposed to come first. But they have said that Halo Season 2 will not launch with either Forge or co-op. Which is fine. Okay, don't get me wrong. If it's not ready, let them have more time. It's not really that. It's my continual freaking gripe of Microsoft like debuting Halo as going to come out with the Xbox 3 months before the Xbox comes out, and then like a month later they're like, it's gonna be delayed till the spring, and then they're like, nah, it's gonna be delayed until December or November when it actually ended up coming out, which is fine. Delays are fine. It's just more of like the show how they debuted it, like they thought it was actually gonna come out. Ain't nobody in the internals of Microsoft when that was debuting on the Xbox showcase actually thought that Halo was coming out that November with Xbox Series. Nobody thought that. Nobody in the internals of Microsoft thought that. Come on. And that frustrates me. So, anyways, what do you think about this?
I'm just quickly like skimming through. They are very apologetic.
They
That
should be.
yeah, but they should have just delayed the whole of season 2 rather than.
They can't. They can't do that because multiplayer fans are pissed that there's been so little content to Halo. So like
It's because they bought into an unfinished project.
yeah, it's a real. I don't know. It's kudos. I guess here's what I'll say. Kudos to Fortnite for what they can do, because what you see with these multiplayer programs is that it ain't easy to keep
No.
this content rolling the way and to like line it up the way they do, where it's like boom, season after season, and they've lined up deals and they've lined up licensed content and they're just moving with it. Like you see Fortnite do this and Apex to some degree, and you think, oh yeah, okay, wow, okay, this can be done. But then you see other companies just like stumble and trip over it, and you realize that it ain't easy what they do.
No. It's yeah, to make a free to play game and then try and do something very successful, it must be very difficult. I mean, I know Warzone has a very cliche, have a very niche market in the fact that not a lot of people like Call of Duty. There's maybe
Yeah,
100 million people that play it regularly, but
just a
but
few.
just a few. But I mean, I know Fortnite has grabbed kids by the absolute ears with it because you've got the merchandise, you've got like the clothing, there's like say the licensed content with the Marvel stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
they are killing it.
Yeah, I mean, just listen to Marty. You know, Marty's like, well, I'm at level 130 something or other to get to somewhere to do something. I mean, for some Spider Man skin, it's amazing what they're doing and the way they grab people in. Halo, they sold that bill of goods, but they haven't produced it so far. So,
No, not at
unfortunately.
all.
So, yeah, they can't delay season 2. Co-op, I believe, is what was supposed to come with it. That's not coming with it because it's not ready. So you know, we'll see. We'll see what it's been a bumpy start for Halo multiplayer, but we'll see. Level 200 gets you gold Spidey suit, says Ebuself in Fortnite. We're talking here.
Wow.
Um,
That's a
so
lot of grind as well because I think as you get higher level, it gets slower to level up. So Matt is doing a lot of grinding.
seriously, yeah, to make all that happen, faux show, no doubt. What's going on with
I mean,
GTA, Sean? Help me. Oh
I,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
and just very quickly, when the co-op for Halo campaign does come out, I'd be interested to play it
Mm-hmm.
and
If only
stream.
you
Me
had
and
a
you stream.
friend that played Halo and was on a podcast with you. If only. No, I'd love to absolutely do that. Play co-op with you. Maybe I'd even play it on a harder mode. See what that's all about. So
So
what's up
yeah,
with
so
Grand Theft
moving it.
Auto here?
Yeah, so moving into the news bulletins because there isn't a great lot to do top stories about this week.
That is true.
Um, Grand Theft Auto 5 is having it's the next kind of big title in line to get the next gen graphic updates. So they'll be coming soon, which means that obviously they have put it on offer. You can currently get the game, I believe, for $20 on the Microsoft Store. I think it's 10 on the PS5 and 20 on the Xbox. And then we're just getting like the whole 3D sounds thing, the ray tracing, the kind of frames per second upgrade that other games like Doom Eternal, Doom, the 2016 Doom, things like that. Just that kind of stuff. That's what they're getting. So if you're ever interested in if you've ever been interested in playing it and kind of held back because it's always been at a big price, that now's a pretty good time to get it more than half price.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Do you think this is one of the reasons that you see the roll off of a lot of GTA stuff, a lot of Rockstar stuff actually rolled off? You think that this plays into why all that stuff rolled off and roll in for Game Pass?
Yeah, possibly because I keep my ear to the ground with Grand Theft Auto because I used to play a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a new online update that's come out featured, I think, around the casino and everything again. I think it's called the contract. Because Dr. Dre's done a lot of music content for that as well. So if you're a fan of Dr. Dre and you've been following it on Spotify, he's been dropping new singles every week. And he's even had Eminem on there as well. So, but yeah, they're dropping new content for the online. So they're still pushing it. Apparently, Rockstar announced or made a statement based on it saying that they were going to do some kind of they are working on some kind of Grand Theft Auto 6, but I'm yet to see any real truth in that. But I can't see them having to rush to do it while ever they've got online stuff coming out for GTA 5 and the upgrade to the graphics and everything only going to pull people in to see what kind of upgrade it has been. So it's probably very good marketing. Get that squeeze the last few Benjamins out of it before anything else.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I know this is the do you, do you say squeeze the last ones out, and I wonder about that because do you think that 6 is coming anytime soon? I mean, I know this is still like everybody says this is still a cash cow for them. So is it? It's like Mario Kart for Nintendo almost, right? I mean, this is like that's what this
Yeah.
is for Rockstar. It's like why make another one when
Um,
this one just keeps freaking making money?
Coming anytime soon. I can't see it being in the next 12 months. I can't see that happening.
Yeah.
So, but hey, we'll see what brings if E3 happens. We get a showcase event from the companies and developers around the June time. We'll see. Yeah, I could literally be eating my words. So
Yeah, well, I mean, what E3 is a great. I mean, last we heard is that was an utter mess to a non-existent platform for developers. publishers now. So we'll see. That'll be interesting. I feel like this is like an every other week thing that we do. There's a huge Assassin's Creed sale right now. I feel like this is an every other week news bulletin.
Yeah, because like the Final Fantasy franchise, there's that many of them. They can do a massive sales.
Yeah, it's like. But I will say that the new Ragnarok stuff is in here for like 50% off or something like that. So if that's your shtick, they believe it will be running because Xbox isn't really great at giving actual dates, but they believe it will be running until March 18th. So you got a little bit of time, but that's also a squishy date. So just so you know.
Squishy.
Squishy. Also, we just like to keep you up to date on what Microsoft is doing to support Ukraine and all that stuff. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I will say that Microsoft has announced, and so many companies have announced that they're pulling out of Russia. But Microsoft has suspended all services and sales of products, including Xbox services and the sales of Xbox products. So, just to let you know what Microsoft is doing, given the current world events. That is how they're doing what they can to be there. But yeah, no, I do not. Yeah, we searched for this Ebucel. So Ebucel asks, are they bricking Windows? So basically, can Russia still use products that have already been bought? They are stopping Windows. They are stopping Microsoft services. So at some point, that will affect Windows when they can no longer get the updates that they need. So at some point, that will have an effect, but they are not stopping. They are not somehow preventing you from using already bought products that are not dependent on services. So yeah.
I think is it Samsung have announced that they're no longer shipping products to Russia.
So many.
But they haven't stopped the sale or the use of Samsung products.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the same thing here. You're not going to be able to buy stuff that you haven't already bought digitally. That those stores are shut down. They're not going to like what Sean's saying, not going to ship. So yeah, it's that same kind of thing, for sure. And that is, my friends, on a slow news week, all our news, all of our top stories and bulletins.
There's no perks to be looking for. Well, the same ones as last week. Spotify still there, Discord still there for the 3 months of Nitro. World of Tanks, you can get some skins from that. I think that's on there. I saw that earlier. If you're a fan of World of Tanks, which is a game that I have played once before, but wasn't for me. So.
And the Duke makes a good point. With no Windows updates, at some point they'll be pretty vulnerable to hackers and the swords. So that is an interesting.
Hey, they're already vulnerable to that. The Anonymous have been doing a really good job of mashing up the Russian TV.
Yeah.
Those guys are amazing. I absolutely love that group of a collective of hackers.
It's a love-hate relationship. I'm not going to say I love them because they do some stuff where I'm like, man, I don't know if you should do that. But in this instance, I do agree with you. I'll give you that. Okay, so Xbox Spotlight. Sean, you want to go first?
I'll go first because my list is teeny weeny.
And I'll just jump in because you're kind of the 2 games you've played, I've played as well. So you shoot.
So first of all, I played a little bit of the Kirby demo. Literally, as we were getting ready to stream, I thought I'll play it. So I've done the first stage and half of the second stage that's available, I believe, in the demo. Reasoning for me playing it is I wanted to see what the hype was. I wanted to see if it was Mario Odyssey like or 3D World. It's more 3D World than Odyssey like,
sure.
But still nice and fun to play. But also because when I went and bought the next game I'm going to talk about, I had enough in-store credit to pay for half of the Kirby game that comes out at the end of March. So yeah. And the other game I've been playing, which is streamed.
Wait! I want to jump in on Kirby before you move there. So then
we'll just wrap. Kirby?
I want to jump on Kirby, that pink little ball of fluff. This game is fun, man. It's just fun. Like, there's just nothing else you can say about it. I played it with the kiddos, and absolutely, like, it's just fun. Like, it's just a great time. And I will say, nobody thought any different about this, I don't think. But I will say, though, as you were mentioning while you were playing, the wild mode is like not very wild. I mean, not even not, and I don't say that as like somebody who's like, well, I played a lot of games and it's real easy, and it's not a problem that it's easy. I just wanted to mention it. Even the wild mode, like the boss at the end of the demo, on the wild mode, my son and daughter, who are 5 and 8, were able to finish that boss off by themselves. So there's still not a lot of difficulty here. That's not an issue. We know that about these games, but man, it's just a joy to play. So that's all I wanted
Yeah,
to say.
it's
And I
nice,
love it.
nice and colourful, nice and
Yep.
light to play.
Mm-hmm.
Not very taxing controls wise.
Mm-hmm.
So not compared to the other game.
Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go on.
No, it's cool. So the other game, which I did my kind of day one with it stream this morning, and that stream went from this game's really beautiful, I really like it, to oh my god.
Yeah, that's how it works.
In the space of hour and 20 minutes, people saw a completely different side to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
and
I mean,
Hambone's right. I went from playing Elden Ring before we started streaming to playing Kirby just to calm down for the. So if it wasn't, if I hadn't your story about the guy at McDonald's, I'd have just been you just got out and cut his fucking head off. Yeah, Elden Ring's took me to a dark place. I don't like it.
yeah. So I don't know. It is beautiful. As you said, you think it's beautiful. It's very frustrating. Very, we knew that was gonna happen. What's your any other thoughts? What's your other stuff? Like, what's your?
So, and I said this a lot in the stream. The thing that gets me the most is the combat mechanics. Great, it's good. I like the fact that you've got like the left two triggers. The left trigger and the left bumper kind of do your left hand weapon, and your right trigger and your right bumper do the right hand weapon. Great, I like it. I like the dodge. I like how effective it is if you get it right. What I don't like is if I'm in the middle of doing an attack with a sword, the guy won't jump, the guy won't roll, the guy will not dodge. It's like, for me, the dodge should override anything that's happening at the time, and it doesn't. So that's where I'm dying the most. It's not because, well, it's because I'm greatly underpowered and I can't defeat everything that I come across. But when I come across something, I'm like, these, like, in and out looking at its attacks, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll dodge this one, I'll dodge that one, I'll attack, and then it'll change the way or the timing that it does certain attacks, and I'm like, that's when I get hit, and because obviously I'm kind of a wimp in the game at the moment compared to everyone else that I seem to be watching. That's where I'm dying the most, and I think I'm having the same issue you were. Like, I've been collecting loads and loads of runes, and then I think I've kind of kept a tally of how many runes I've lost, and I'm in the 10,000
Oh my
runes
gosh, are
mark
you serious?
in total. What I've lost so far, yeah.
Oh, that's a lot. Yeah, I have lost probably about 4,000, maybe five. Um, but I play really conservative.
I lost 6,000 in 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh, that just like hurts me to hear. I mean, I play very conservative though. Like once I get to like 1,500, 2,000 runes, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna go back to a point of grace and just kind of like circle around until I get enough to spend these. I mean, that really is like the amount of anxiousness I have about that is serious. Like it's like, oh my gosh, I have so many. I cannot lose these. I need to upgrade. Like I'm gonna just circle around this point of grace until I get enough to upgrade, and then I'll go do something. And then I like explore a little bit. But then the moment that starts to eke back up, I'm like, oh my gosh, again, it happens to me. I'm like, I gotta go back to a point of grace, and it really just like it just smashes my exploration with that game because I'm immediately like, I can't go anywhere. I don't know.
Yeah. So to basically give it like the gist of how my gameplay with it went this evening, me, Nick, and Hambo and Johnny, who's in the chat, have got a nice little like DM group called the Tarnished that we kind
It's
of
totally true. It's a great group. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
chucking messages backwards and forwards about Elden Ring. I turned the Xbox on and started playing Elden Ring at 21:37, and by 21:40, I'd sent a message saying I died. 3 minutes. It took me 3 minutes of playing the game to die.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
And it was the Golden Horse. Was it the Golden Horse?
No, that was this evening before. So that was just like,
Oh, okay.
I was running away from the Bridge of Sacrifice, and I ran into a giant, massive, huge, giant thing, and that's where I lost 4,500 runes,
Yeah.
or 3,000 runes. So then on the way back to get those runes, I like chalked up about another 2,000 runes, and then collected the 3,500 that I. So like I had loads. I was like, yes, and then died again, and then while trying to get back to those, then died again. So that means that 5,000 is gone, and the amount that. So.
Yeah, it's real painful. And I will say, yeah, I have not beaten the golden horse yet either, Hambone. I will say, if you are in the Nintendo Dads Discord, you're playing this game, you don't mind spoilers. Like, we are not putting spoiler tags on anything. We don't care about it, and you want to be part of this group, DM me or Sean, and we're happy to kind of add you to the group we're chatting about. Okay, but we are. No matter where you are in the game, we don't care about spoilers. That's the one thing I will say about this group. So
Elden Ring helpline.
that's what it is.
What
That's exactly it. Yeah. What I, and I was talking about this in that group too. What I will say is this game, and I kind of alluded to it, but for so many reasons, gives me so much anxiousness and just fear of missing out, like some serious FOMO. Like, it's like, okay, you start out by picking this character, which I know this is not the only game that does this, but it's like so ridiculous. It's this really hard game. You know nothing about these people, really. I mean, they give you some basic information, but even the basic information they give you, you don't understand, or at least I didn't understand most of it. And I have to pick this character, which I feel like is going to like change the trajectory of my game. So the moment I pick it, I'm thinking, did I pick the right one? I picked the Confessor. Why the hell did I do that? I don't even know what a Confessor is. Like, oh my gosh. Let me tell you. Anyways, and then you get these smithing stones to upgrade your weapons, and immediately I'm starting using them. I'm like, am I using them on the right weapon? Should I use them? Should I not use them? This is my beginner weapon. I'm probably using them on the wrong thing. Like, this is what this game does to you. It's just like, it's painstaking. I don't know, man. It might be too much for me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I have like I picked the samurai class, and I've got this really nice samurai sword, and then this tiny, tiny little shield that can't block anything, or parry anything. It's like it's useless. I'm carrying this thing around. I am waiting for like a short sword. That's what I want on the left hand, is some kind of short sword.
Now, the bow that you get, because you get a bow with the samurai, right? Isn't that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Does that do anything? Like, does it do any damage whatsoever? Like,
it'll take a foot soldier out in one, and
oh, F me. I should have got the frickin' bow. Oh, I bought a bow from this guy down somewhere in I don't know, on the map. And I'm shooting this thing. It's like I might as well have like I don't know, like a BB gun to these guys. They're just like walking right through it. Oh man. See, I feel like I made the wrong decision. Here's my analogy. I told you I had an analogy for Elden Ring. Here's my analogy. Every once in a while, maybe once or twice a year, no, not even that long, like maybe once every other year, we will go to an art gallery in Chicago, me and my wife. And you sit there and you look at these paintings, right? And the guy comes up and he's like, well, this is so-and-so by such and such artist with such and such impression, and it's currently on the market for around $5 million. And he's like explaining to you the history and blah, 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 and he's like, and he walks away, and the whole time he's talking, I'm trying to figure out what the hell it even is, or how it's worth so much money, even though it's so ugly. And I lean over to my wife, and I'm like, well, he says it's worth something. He says it's great. I think that's great. I'm glad for the people who think it's amazing. You'd have to pay me to put it on my wall, really, but whatever, I mean, that's fine. And then we walk away. And this is really Elden Ring. Like, everybody thinks this game is amazing. Sure, I believe you. I believe it's amazing. I can tell you one thing. I probably won't ever buy a Dark Souls game again. I don't know. And that's fine. Like, no big deal. Like, it's not a problem. Like, I'm just saying, the world thinks the game's amazing. I don't see it. I see a lot of flaws as game mechanics, but maybe they're not flaws. Maybe they're just, some of those paintings look like your 2-year-old did them, but somehow if you're an art expert, you realize that it's actually amazing art. Okay, that's great. I still think it looks like my 2-year-old did it.
The guy behind the till where I got Elden Ring from was actually he was a big fan of the Souls games. He was like, oh yeah. I was like, oh, I'm going to pick. I want to pick this up. He's like, oh yeah, really cool. Like, have you seen much of it? And I was like, I've watched a couple of streams and stuff. He's like, oh yeah, this is honestly the best Souls game ever. Like, you'll really enjoy this. And I'm like, oh, I said to him, oh, it's my first Souls game, so I've not really known what to expect. And he kind of went, right, okay. When you get home, take the disc and just use it as a frisbee. That's about as much fun as you're going to have in this game.
Yeah.
I was like, right, okay, that's a really expensive frisbee. And he was like, yeah, I'm just kidding. So this is probably the best game to get into a Souls kind of game. So,
yeah,
once you play this for a bit, go and play Dark Souls 3 because that's like even harder.
no,
And then if you want more difficulty, go and play the original Dark Souls because it's janky and horrible as hell. And it will give you a really good run for your money. I was like, this is sound advice. Can I please pre-order Kirby?
yeah, I know. I mean, listen, I just think I really have like spent so much time thinking about these games and how we do reviews and like, you know, I mean, most of these Dark Souls games get handed Dark Souls people who love Dark Souls games. Okay, that's fine, and that's probably the best person to review them. But sometimes I think some game mechanics that just don't work are missed by that. It's like if I reviewed an Animal Crossing game. Give it to me. I would love Animal Crossing, guys. There's a lot of issues with that game. I probably wouldn't have even seen them. Okay, because I just would be starstruck by the Animal Crossing game. Okay, I mean,
we were.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I just am I gonna finish it? I don't know. Am I gonna quit yet? No, I'm not gonna quit yet. I think I still do appreciate the game. I'd appreciate it more if it was hard but less grindy. Like that's the one thing where it's like, well, I just have to run around and kill random people to level up. Now maybe if you're better than me, you don't have to do that, but
you see, I'm killing everything, not just random people. I am killing everything. If there is like a deer, one of them roly sheep, an eagle, anything, all of it, you get runes from them all. You're all gonna die. The best of it is, they all come back as soon as you touch Grace, which I love that saying, touch Grace.
Yeah,
as soon as you touch Grace, they all come back anyway. So,
yeah,
everybody respawns.
That is true. I can appreciate that. Now, are you shooting a lot of that with bow and arrow, or are you like?
I have no arrows.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, there's that.
But yeah, as Episode was saying, this is very much like a Metroid kind of dev aspect to the game where you learn the attacks of things. You go away, you learn the attack of larger enemies, which is what I'm doing. I spend more time trying to learn the attacks and where I can dodge, when I can dodge, and the timing of things, so I can keep going back. Like the giant cat, the horrifically faced cat, that I was trying to beat in the stream. 10 minutes after I finished the stream, I beat it because I got the attacks down. I knew when to dodge, and I just grinded it out. But
by the way, I swear that is just part of streaming. Like, I mean, I cannot tell you. Last week I played the second arena of Hitman, and I just walked through it. Like, I was just like, I did so good. I was like getting rid of people, throwing them in closets, throwing them in freezers. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm ready to stream this now. Then I start the third one, and they're like, yeah, you don't know where your targets are, so try to find them if you can. I ran around and got shot 5 million times. I was like, oh my gosh, how do I do this? I should have just streamed the first or the second area. Oh man. But yeah, I swear that's just the life of streaming, I think. Sorry, yeah. Anything else?
So we beat Elden Ring within an inch of its life. So so what about the other game that you played from Game Pass this week?
So I played Far Changing Tides. I'm going to tell you something. The sound in this game is amazing. It looks beautiful. The story's still crap. I'm sorry, but that's okay because I went in knowing the story was crap, so that's all right. And you can hate me or you can fight me about it all you want. Here is a prime example. By the way, if you really want to try to at least a shred understand the story, play it on Xbox. Because here's what happens. I'm going down this tunnel. There are these red silhouettes on the wall. You can tell that the silhouettes are people. That's about all. There's some white weird ball in front of them. No idea what that is. I'm going down. I'm going down. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Paint. I'm sure I'm supposed to get some large message from this. I don't see anything. I don't get anything out of it. All of a sudden, I get a ding for an achievement, and it says, "Congratulations, you've discovered," or not congratulations, but achievement unlocked. And the achievement title is "You've discovered the ancients." I did. How was I supposed to know they were the ancients? It doesn't say, well, it doesn't say ancients. It's just silhouettes of people with a white ball in front of it. Come on, man. That said, I will stop talking about the story. I can get past it now because I know that the story is not going to be discernible in any way. Like I said, the sound's great. It looks beautiful. And the sailing is really good in this game. So the last one, you're on you're on this gigantic vehicle that traverses over land. This one, it traverses over the water in the majority of the time. A lot of the mechanics are similar, except there are obviously new ones now where this one is submersible, and so you use water and air to figure out where things are going. I think the mechanics are a little bit more fine-tuned, which I really appreciate. Other than that, a lot of it is fairly similar, but it is also a really well done game. I would suggest you check it out. So that's Far Changing Tides. Kirby demo. The last thing I want to update. I don't think I updated. I think this happened over the weekend. I'm fairly certain. Last week I said I would play Breath of the Wild if I could find my save file. It was a journey. I apparently my old Switch didn't have it selected to upload. Luckily, I didn't get rid of my old Switch. Otherwise, it would have been all lost. I gave it to my mom. Sold it to my mom. So I had to go to my mom's house. The save was still there. I had it uploaded to the cloud. I was able to download it on mine. It's safe and sound. I am now playing Breath of the Wild. I've opened up the area where I need to do the bird thing. So I'm working on that. So that is those are the games that I am currently playing.
Did you catch any of Tim's gaming for Guru from the Nintendo Dads? Did you catch any of that live?
I did not. No, I'm sorry, Tim. Please forgive me.
I watched him grind his way through one of those shrine bosses.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
man.
I
gotta try to catch up to him.
He had, I think he had Andros in the Discord chat talking to him and kind of like talking him through it. So nice. It was really, really good.
Nice. I need to get Andros to do that for me.
Kudos to our community for always backing everybody.
It's great. For sure.
So, with that being the Xbox Spotlight and everything we play, we'll move into the breaking news for games that are out this week. I have two in this list, and only one of them is here because I need to apologize, as it was pointed out to me by the Dads After Dark. I got my Roman numerals wrong last week, so I called Lightning Returns Final Fantasy VIII, and it's not. It's Final Fantasy 13. That came out at the very beginning of this week on the 3rd of March. And the only other game really that's appeared new is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege Deluxe Edition has, for whatever reason, been re-added to the games recently added. So,
well, is it new because it's the Deluxe Edition? I don't know. I don't know. Did I lose you?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, I'm here.
You're reading chat. I don't know. That's what you're doing. Ubisoft's trying to dig himself out of saying something about Tim being sad. Yeah, don't you can't follow that one. The golden ticket is not new either. Nothing's new. Currently available on the golden ticket is Aerial Knights. Am I right about that? I got to get my dates right. Yeah,
that's Knights, still available till March 15th.
The Flame and the Flood. Oh, I got to get that one downloaded. And Sacred 2 Fallen Angel. So there you go.
Yep. Excuse me. And for what's on the horizon, that's still old news. So I can imagine in 6 days' time, I won't be playing Elden Ring. I'll be playing Shredders. And I think in 2 days' time, I'll probably be playing Guardians of the Galaxy as well. We said we talked about that before we started streaming, and it was like yeah, we'll. It'd be nice to play something fun. So
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I am very, very interested to play Guardians of the Galaxy. Marty and Drew loved it, and so I really, if it's as fun as what they're saying, it's gonna be hard to not be drawn to that from Elden Ring.
uh, yeah. So we're going to move into the party chat. I want to have a look at some of the questions that we've got because I think as we started recording, Tim, who was in the live chat, kind of dropped a pretty good one that I'm quite excited to answer.
Thank you, Tim. And you are not sad. You are not sad, Tim. Let me tell you that right now. None of you chatters are sad. I appreciate each and every one of you. Just want you to know that.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of say it was that one. I think there's two of those shrine bosses that I had to go back at the very end after I'd beaten Ganon. That when I was going around clearing up all the shrines, I had to go back and do. And I think that was one of them. It was incredibly difficult. So
There you go. All right, hit me with some questions, Sean. Hit us with some questions.
I think the first one from Slick Chicken, we kind of bounced that to one of the Nintendo dads. We did, yeah, because it was going around Twilight Princess coming to the Switch. So the next one is: will you guys be watching PlayStation State of Play tomorrow? And if you could poach one franchise from the PlayStation and bring it to Xbox, what would you pick? I don't think I'll be watching the State of Play. I'll probably keep my eye on YouTube for like a highlights reel from somebody to kind of see what's coming. As for game for a franchise that I'd like to poach from them, Sackboy. I would like Sackboy. I like those games.
Horizon. I mean, I mean that's low hanging fruit maybe, but God of War is a little too like deep and dark probably. I love myself an open world game. Horizon just is kind of, it seems fun. I mean, I've watched a couple people play. It just looks fun. Um, it doesn't seem overly crazy like what I'm playing right now with Elden Ring. And it just seems, I don't know, it just seems fun. So yeah, I would love to I'd love to bring that sucker over for sure, but that is not going to happen, and that's okay.
And the question from Tim, I believe he's gone around and he's asked quite a few of the other content creators that we have in our group. So Drew, John, I don't know if he's dropped this with Dan and for Strongest Mall, Retrologic. Would you rather, and I love would you rather questions, so this is why it perked me. Would you rather go back in time and play one game with your kid self, or go back in time and show off a system to your kid self?
Well, but if you play the one game, aren't you kind of showing off the system? Or do you have to play a
Um,
game? Tim, if you're in, answer this question. Do you have to play a game that is currently out with your kid self? Or can you play any game you want, even if it's future game? Because then you're kind of showing off the system, right? I mean, it's some. I'm just
yeah, it
trying to
kind of
get
goes
my
into
cake
a.
and eat it too. That's all I'm trying to do, Sean.
So I think for me, I take the way I take that question is I'd go, you'd go back and like maybe go to the N64 era and play Ocarina of Time as an adult with your kid self and kind of show them through the game. That's how I broke the
Okay.
question away.
All right. All right. So Tim has answered it. You only have time to play a game, could be a future game, but you don't have time to show everything about the new system. Okay. Fair enough. I get it. I think. So let's assume you can't, like, if you choose a Switch game, let's assume you cannot like show the Switch. Like somehow it's like hidden in a box, and they don't realize that you can switch. You can take it out and all that fun stuff. So that makes it a little bit more fair. Um, and that is hard for sure. But I think if I could show my little self that loves Super Mario Brothers 3 and is just amazed by it. If I could show him Super Mario Odyssey, I would blow his ever loving mind.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that yeah, that's I'm gonna go down the lines of I'd go back as well. I'd go back in and play a game, but I wouldn't take a game from a new system. I would go back and I'd play Ocarina of Time with my kid self and kind of like I don't know. The Ocarina of Time, the N64 and the Ocarina of Time, that was like my first game that I played on my own where my dad didn't help me. And I think it was because he wasn't very well at the time. He was in and out of hospital. So it was quite sad because those kind of games are things that me and my dad used to play together a lot. Um, so I can remember with Zelda Link to the Past, the SNES version. Like
Mm-hmm.
we played that together, and it's like my dad did all the controlling. I kind of worked out kind of helped him work out the puzzles and stuff like that. And the same with Tomb Raider, like we played that a lot. So, but I think Ocarina of Time was the first one where I didn't have that with him. So I think I'd like to go back and give my kid self the help that my dad had been able to give me in that game from now.
Sure.
Um, because yeah, and then Ocarina of Time that's my childhood game. That is the one that every time like I think of a Zelda game, I always go back to Ocarina of Time. So
So you're saying your dad didn't give you that help? Is that what you're saying?
no, he couldn't at the time. My dad had kidney failure
Oh, okay.
when I was young. His body just for whatever reason decided it didn't want to have its kidneys anymore. Rejected the first one. He got really ill. Ended up on dialysis, and then his second one started to fail under rejection as well. Whatever reason, it is hereditary, but like me and my brother both had the test, so we're quite okay. It's something Logan will have to be tested for because it only affects the males in our family line.
Gotcha.
Um, so yeah, he was in hospital, he was on dialysis, he was not very well, he was like really tired all the time. So
Hmm. Yeah. Because I've often thought, well, not just me, but my mom has brought it up to me. Um, it's like a double-edged sword, right? To have like a dad that games, I think. Like it's great because they're there to help you out. Also, so like I didn't have a dad that gamed and my mom gamed, but really I was as good or better than her, no offense, mom. For most of my life gaming. Um but I wonder how I would have felt to have like this guy in the house that just like, yeah, sure, watch me play this game and just like totally be able to do way better than you. And now, don't get me wrong, I don't think I got many more years. Okay, I am enjoying the years because he's getting better by the day, and there's gonna be a day when I'm like, hey, Noah, you want to help me get past here? I totally get that. It's coming faster than I want to admit. Um, but I like, how would I have been like, oh, good, my dad can help me in this game, or would I have been like, God, just he bugs the crap out of me because he's always beating me in these freaking games. Like because I don't take it easy on Noah. By the way, I'm not like one of those. I'm not gonna be like, oh, Noah, you beat me. But no, 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 no. I play the game.
see, I'm like that now with Logan. Like if we play Mario Kart, he's got the assists on, and I purposely like drive slow. Make sure I always make sure I'm behind him, and I'll chuck a couple of shells at him. But then I always make sure he's winning because he's still learning the mechanics of everything. He doesn't understand the input, process, output of the controller side of things. That hasn't gotten into him yet. Where with Emily, it's no holes barred. It's like
Yeah.
you get good, or you'll not beat me. So like, and I always give her tips. It's like the same with Zelda. She's now like she's played Breath of the Wild to the point where she's at the second Divine Beast, and I have given her no help other than say to her, "Try do this, try do that, go here and do this," like that kind of stuff. but when she was a little bit younger, like playing Mario and things like that, I would sit with her and like hold the controller and kind of help guide her thumbs and hands and where they need to be on the controller and kind of tell her, right, we need to hit this button. So I kind of did that. And that's what my dad did with me. Gaming for me was a big family thing. So we also used to sit down and stuff like that. And like my mum would like be shouting stuff and I'd be like trying to do things. And it's like at first my mum would do the puzzles. I'd tell my dad, oh, you need to heal, you like use a medikit because like playing Tomb Raider, like it was my job to look at the health bar. That was it. And say we needed to do stuff. And like he did everything else. And my brother was the same. My brother was there. He was like he's 3 years younger than me. So he kind of like does that kind of thing. Um but now like I couldn't beat there's no way on earth I could beat my dad on a 1v1 in Call of Duty. There is no way on earth. He's really
Mm-hmm.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like driving games, he's better than me. Just so there's still games that he's better than me, and I would not be able to, beat him. But then there's also games where I'm better than him. He can't handle like things like Grand Theft Auto for third person kind of games like that. He can't. Where there's lots of different mechanics to it. He can't handle those kind of games and stuff like that.
Yeah. So
So
here,
my biggest worry at the moment as a gaming dad is Logan has zero interest in playing games. He would so much rather use an iPad to watch a kid play with Hot Wheel cars, then go and play with his Hot Wheel cars, than play a game. So
yeah, and I mean Noah is definitely more was into games now than he was, especially now that he understands them more. I did want to say, I should mention, Knockout City. That's a game where Noah can beat me. He has practiced a whole lot in that game, and if we're in a 1-to-1 battle, tossing that ball back and forth, he's got me, man. I know it. I gotta use like some of the controller tricks, like spinning and trying to and like the fake throw. That's the stuff that gets him, that I can still that I can still that I can still have a chance with. For my mom, I can't do two things at once. I'm trying to type and do this, and I just can't. For my mom, like, she was awesome with games. She was never amazingly like good at them, but the fact that she like knew that I loved them. The one time, like for one Christmas, she bought Super Mario Brothers 3 for me and opened it up and would like break it out at night while I was in bed before Christmas and play it to try to like get as good as possible before I this is a story she tells me before I opened it, so that she could try to like either beat me or like keep up with me while we were playing. Like, I just remember her telling me
see
that. I thought it was great.
that was me like for Super Mario 64. Super Mario 64 was the game where I knew I was getting an N64 and I knew it was coming. And like I'd sit on the other side of the living room door when they'd close it on a night and I'd listen to my dad playing Super Mario 64. I knew the noises because of the adverts on TV. So like and I know that's what he did.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I like playing games with the kids. I like playing games in front of them. Like Emily asks loads of questions, stuff like that. Jaya kind of now at 15 is just she shut herself away and she plays the games that she likes to play. She plays Roblox still. She plays Minecraft with her friends and stuff like that. It's more of a social thing for her than a hobby to play games. She's more of a read books and watch scary movies kind of person for a hobby. So
Sense. Makes sense. What's next, man? What do we got next? Anything else?
that's it. There were all the questions. But it's closing out for the show. That's it. We've covered everything. Everything in the doc is talked about. Chat kind of went a bit crazy in the middle of us talking about being gamer dads and stuff like that. So thanks, Tim, for a very good question that opened up a lot of tangents.
Yeah, and Tim was saying he chose would choose showing his kid self the Switch. He did say that in there. Which I do get, but I just feel like, man, me seeing what Super Mario was gonna be. Holy macaroni! I just, because it's amazing to watch it, but you're kind of like a frog in boiling water because you get to see, okay, Super Mario 64, that blew my mind because it was 3D, but it was still kind of janky, although I didn't realize it was janky at the time. And then you get to watch it kind of slowly gather into what it is now, and it's a big deal, but not as much so, I think. So
Yeah. I mean, in 10 years' time, we could be turning around and we could say that like Elden Ring and the mechanics in that and the camera, how the camera works, is janky because they'll come out with a
oh, it
completely
is.
different way of
Sorry,
managing
I'm just
stuff.
kidding. Sorry.
But yeah,
we're
it
gonna
is
have
already.
we're gonna have nobody listen to this. They're gonna be like, those guys suck. They don't know what they're talking about. Or at least that one guy does. That one guy sucks. He has no idea what he's talking about. That's what I should say.
So, but
I was
and
trying to
then
go ahead. Sorry.
Tim asks Heavy Cell in the chat a very good question about the Steam Deck. Would there be a Steam Deck? Would there have been a necessity to have a Steam Deck if there was no Switch?
Well, would there be a necessity, or would Valve have come about it them without the switches?
Yeah, would they have
Yeah.
gone? That's a really good idea, and tried to do something of their own kind of invention on that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they would have thought of. I don't know. But it's interesting to think two things. One, the Switch was market proof, right? I mean, the Switch was a market proof that it was hot and it would work. And also, the Switch is proof that it needs a little bit more oomph now. I mean, I think even avid Switch owners are saying it needs some more oomph. And so I think Valve realized that they could fill a gap, and also they had a market of people already there ready to to want. They're probably hearing it from their users, right? I mean, they're probably hearing it from their users of like, hey, we'd love to have something portable for all these games. What do you think? And so it was like, well, yeah. So yeah, that's a tough question.
Yep. Yeah. True. It's like, do you know you need something when you haven't seen it or used it? Portable gaming. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I bought the Switch. I was concerned about the Switch when it launched. I was like, there's no way in this earth that Nintendo have got that technology that right, that it works that well. And then
live. Yes. Oh wait.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Please forgive me.
Nick's loading up what he's going to watch after the podcast is finished.
No, so what I'm trying to do, full transparency. What I'm trying to do here is see if Third Strongest Mole is on yet, so that we could see if we could rate him. Because he said he was going to be on at 7:30. It's a touch before, and then we could send you guys over to see what Third Strongest Mole was about to watch. But I don't think he's on just yet.
Oh so. No. Well, I mean, to put people on, should we find somebody that's playing Elden Ring?
Oh, those poor people. I was trying to give them something. God, I'm so bad. I need to stop. I just can't stop. I'm sorry. Anyways, yeah. So
the thing is, like Nick's saying, "Oh, this game's so janky and it's so horrible, it's so hard." But I can guarantee you that, like, as I'm laying in bed and trying to switch off a little bit, I'll flick through Discord and it'll say, "Nick Tendo playing Elden Ring."
Okay, that's all true. It's not janky at all, by the way. That's not true at all. It's not. I've given my true opinion about it, and it is not at all janky. I'm just being funny at that point. But yeah, sure. Let's raid somebody. How does this? I always forget how this works, Sean. We don't do it enough. Do I do the outro and then you raid?
So
you want me to do that?
If you find a channel name and then pick the live channel, have that all set up, and then as soon as our outro finishes.
Oh wait, I have to find the channel name? Oh my gosh. You're putting so much pressure.
Or if you tell me the channel name.
I don't know the channel name.
I can type it out.
This is gonna make great podcast material. Hell, it makes great material altogether.
Well, while you're trying to find the channel name, what I will do is we do have some information regarding what's happening next week. So we're going to have Mr. Hambone Johnny on next week. He'll hopefully be able to tell us next week that he's got a date sorted out for the Being on Nintendo Days, which would be quite cool because then he can plug that for them as well. Nick G4 TV. G4 TV, we could raid those, apparently. Tim's said in the chat. So, yeah, we're going to have Hammer and Johnny on next week. We're going to get his thoughts on Elden Ring. Hopefully by then I'll have played a bit more. Nick will have played a little bit more. Johnny will have played a little bit more. We might have some better ideas how some of the bits and pieces work. So if you are on the fence about the game, you've got some questions regarding it, if you get them lined up for next week, we'll see what we can answer. We'll see what we can get through. I don't know where Nick's gone. He's gone very quiet.
I'm still here.
Okay. Do you want to do G4 TV?
G4 TV. I'm on it. Okay.
Right, now I've got it. I just literally, as soon as the outro finishes, I just have to press start raid.
Oh, okay. I'm outroing. Adios. See you later. Goodbye, people.